The girls just had their morning bottles and now they're getting some pellet. I'm happy they're starting to wean themselves. Most of the pellet's going to waste at this point if they use the bathroom in there like a litter box, but they are starting to eat some, which is good. They also prefer the leaves, which actually this was full of leaves. They've been eating a lot of leaves. Hi, baby. Hello, Sky. Eat some food. Liberty, you eating your food? It's good. Their cute little horns are showing through their fur now. Hello, girls. So I've decided to experiment and make some canned dog food out of the venison scraps I usually throw away. So I filled them pretty tight with ground scraps, and then I'm going to do water up to the bottom of this line here and pressure can them. So let's see how that goes. The dog food canning went well. One of them siphoned, so the grease went everywhere, so I'll have to wash the outside of the jars. But 6 of the 7 sealed. I'm doing another batch this morning. For this batch, I raw packed it in, and I'm going to try doing it with no liquid. The last batch, I added water up to the bottom line, and one of them siphoned. I'm just going to do them this way, and they're going to be canning it for 90 minutes in the pressure canner. So Liberty and Sky are getting really big. They were on 2 12-ounce bottles a day, so that they were getting hungry in between bottles, so they start eating pellet, and they've been eating their pellet. I'm switching them today to 2 8-ounce bottles a day to start the weaning process. We'll keep them on that for a little while. All done. Come on, baby. I don't want to pour this on your head. Excuse me. Baby goats. Get out of your bowl. So the bowl is not the best solution because they do poop in it. So I have to throw away a lot of food. But move. Move. All right. There you go. Hopefully this food will help. I've never tried the medicated food before. Hopefully it stops them from getting any issues with weaning, and hopefully we don't get any diarrhea this year. And hopefully they transition nice and smoothly to the solid feed. They've been nibbling on hay and leaves the whole time they've been in here, so their bellies are getting used to it. So I believe we don't have any issues with our bunnies. I think it was just the fact that they were going on a very high protein feed right off of being weaned, and their bellies weren't adjusting to it, because as soon as I switched to hay and this Producer's Pride lower protein feed, all the bunnies have been great. Half of them are already out of their mom's pen, and the other ones are going out today. I had to set up their cage, so they're just hanging out with mom a little longer than normal. So this week is going to be rabbit hutch repair week, and also winterizing everything. I'm going to get the waters hooked up. Last night my husband and I fixed the chicken coop and the bunny hutch, so they're all protected better from the wind and weather, so there's not going to get any snow in there. The setup I had before was working, but this week the tarp ripped off because it was getting old. It lasted about 2 years, and the setup for the bunnies just wasn't working. Their food was getting rained in, so we built a structure and we got some nice heavy duty tarps over everything, so it should hold up for the winter and keep everyone safe and warm. So this is the new setup we have for the chickens and the grow up bunnies. I showed you the structure as we were building it, and then we're gonna just have these heavy duty tarps to keep the extra wind and weather away from them. I'm going to do something to tie it up a little better, but it was getting dark last night, so this is what we have so far. So this is the side I have their food and their water on. So I made it so we can just lift this tarp up and get in there. This hutch has half of the bunnies. Ooh, that's blurry, sorry. I'll be setting up the second hutch today, cleaning it up a bit, getting the feeders in. So these bunnies are going to be taken out and put in that other hutch today. And this week I'll also be repairing all of the damaged hutches, getting them nice for winter. So I'm not sure why we're having problems with the bunnies weaning now. I've never had weaning problems in the past. And this batch of bunnies was having weaning issues while with mom. So just because they're with mom doesn't mean they're not weaned. A bunny is typically weaned between 4 and 5 weeks old. Mom stops nursing them. They stop wanting to nurse around 4 weeks. So even though I had them with mom still, they were having gut issues because they weren't adjusting to her food. And I'm not sure why, because I've never had that issue in the past. I've been on the Blue Seal for at least a year now, and the last 2 batches of bunnies were the first time I've had symptoms of a weaning issue, weaning enteritis. So with the suggestion from some people on Facebook groups, I switched to a different feed and it's working, so I'm going to stick with that and we'll see how it goes. If I continue not to have issues with it, we'll just stay with the Producer's Pride, cheaper, lower protein food, and I'll keep an eye on everybody, but for now that's working. So that one giant tarp we had over the chicken coop lasted for 2 years. It kept them dry and warm and everyone was fine. It did shred eventually. This is the new setup. We did some canvas tarps. We had one tarp over this whole top and sides before. So now it's multiple tarps. Hopefully the wind won't rip them as easily. And the canvas tarps are more expensive, thicker. Hopefully they'll hold up nicer. My thought with this side, we're going to get some better tie downs, is going to be that I can lift it to give them more sunlight and put it down when it's cold and windy and snowing. So my main structure is this run. They perch on those bars at night. This little Tractor Supply hutch is only the nest box. So please don't buy this from Tractor Supply and think it's good enough for more than, I don't know, 3 or 4 chickens. It's really small. It's not big enough. So this is their main structure. This is a little bit of structure with some nest boxes. Also, the roof fell apart and we re-roofed it. So, not the best quality roofs on their end. So these 2 tarps I'm not going to have on the ground permanently. We'll be figuring out something to make that nicer. And then lift them up. The rabbit hutches are in there. And this piece is hinged, so I'm going to have that standing up. I just need to find the right clips to hold it up. So that is 2 8-foot rabbit hutches. And then along this side is the chicken door. And this needs to be able to lift up so I can get their water in there. So the next things I need to do are repair all the plywood that the rabbits have chewed through over the year. And then I need to hook up everyone's water so they have heated water. We're not really getting enough ice to have it freeze more than a couple hours where it's thawing during the day. So right now we're fine, but I do need to get that set up. I already have the plywood cut to repair these centerpieces. And some of the doors need repair. On the centerpieces, I need to go through and cut the holes for the rabbit to go in and out. And I'm just going to be leaving in this piece that she's destroyed and putting the other one over it. It won't hurt. It'll add more insulation. I also might protect the new piece from her chewing it a little bit. Run, Boris. Okay. Run. Go. It's okay. Good boy. Go run. Go away. Good boy. Go run, Boo. Go. Or go inside, one of the two. Are you cold? Go run. Thanks. So while I was taking a pregnant lady nap yesterday, my lovely husband hooked up all the power for me. So I don't have to deal with any more frozen waters this year. So everybody has one of these bottles. Chickens, goats, rabbits. Be really nice. That didn't feel like it hit anything. It did not. Okay, this one doesn't have the same back and forth sander.